You know, they put the, the fake head and everything. I think that was a fake head. Or did he pass away that day?
Day Shift is a fresh take on classic vampire mythology. In this action-packed horror comedy, we've got insane practical stunts, beautiful chemistry between cast and crew, and an incredible hair and makeup team to bring this J.J. Perry film to life.
Let's check this out.
Number 1. There were a ton of practical effects in this film.
JJ's taken some vampire mythology and put it in crazy situations of gunfights and car chases.
Not only did the actors spend hours in target practice and have actual contortionists on set, but they also did real car and motorcycle chases on the streets of California.
And the stunts that you see is amazing, and it's practical.
Number 2. The vampires' movements were done by actual contortionists. J.J. Perry revealed on Twitter that he didn't want to rely solely on special effects for the vampire fight scenes. So, he hired a team of contortionists to recreate the vampires' insanely flexible moves. One thing to take note of, though, was that the actors had to be very careful when putting hands on their bodies.
We weren't allowed to jerk or do anything quick.
If they made the wrong move, it could be very bad for the contortionist.
She sort of I guess, disengages her body, so it can be very vulnerable.
Number 3. We're coming in sharp. Karla Souza, who plays the ice-cold Audrey San Fernando, definitely had her fair share of vampire strife on set.
It was so hard with the fangs.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx couldn't keep a straight face during a whole lot of their scenes together because of her fang-induced lisp. As she is threatening his life, no less, it made it really hard for him not to laugh.
I was like this, and I was like, you're going to suffer. I was so bad.
Not only did the fangs make it hard for her to deliver her lines, but
they were very pointy, so I drew blood a couple of times on my lips because of it.
Number 4. Obviously, one of the things we love about this movie is just how practical it is. Even the actors wanted to do as many stunts as they could.
Everyone trained. Snoop, Jamie, Franco.
And it looks so good.
Yeah.
Something unfortunate about the movie is that they didn't really have any rehearsals as an entire cast because of the COVID precautions. So stunt training in Atlanta was where they all got to come together and connect as a team.
It looks so good when you see you guys move and it's you and it's not like some hidden double.
Number 5. This car chase sequence was also shot super quickly. J.J. Perry is not messing around when it comes to his stunt crew.
And I picked the people that I knew were going to be soldiers and that move fast.
Something unique about the way this chase was shot was the angle that came through the sunroof of the vehicle. The decision to do this happened pretty organically at a Starbucks in Culver City.
So if I was in the backseat of a car with gloves on, could I throw the drone out of the car if it checked up in a slide?
Then he said, let's go try it. Number 6. Because of how many people had to step in for one character,
6 different people are going to be playing one
person.
That hair and makeup chair was in constant rotation.
We had the stunt person, the actor, the contortionist.
Not only did they have to do the exact same hair and makeup for 6 different people, but they had to do it in a way that correctly shows what phase of their vampiric transformation they were on. Definitely not an easy task. Number 7. Everyone loved having Jamie Foxx on set. Something really creative and hilarious that he would do was produce music based on a specific line that was said in the film.
It was like, this is my valley, cabron. Drink him.
This was literally the first day on set.
And he's like, he goes to the side and he's like, this is my valley, cabron. Drink him. And he starts going off.
When Karla Souza noticed what he was doing, she started putting in her own little touches.
Here I am, like salsa dancing to like my own song with my lyric that he just created.
We're truly hoping they bless our ears with this masterpiece sometime soon.
Let's just say they do.
Number 8. Unsurprisingly, there was a ton of improv in this film. J.J. Perry gave the actors a lot of comedic freedom, especially when it came to the more conversational scenes where they're just hanging out in the car talking.
He told us from the beginning, he was like, have fun, do your thing, say whatever you want. And so we were like, all right, let's go.
So, every day, Jamie Foxx and Dave Franco were pretty much just trying to make each other laugh during their scenes together. More specifically, the scene in the car where they're talking about the Twilight films. Yeah, that was all improv.
Why do you know so much about Twilight films?
Number 9. This was one of Dave Franco's most mentally challenging scenes to film. For the duration of the scene, his character Seth is heavily freaking out over all the vampires attacking him. Also, considering he's known for...
Now I just bit my favorite suit.
It makes sense that his anxiety would be pretty high. It was so difficult for him because of how long it took to shoot.
I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, and so that's me as an actor, 5 days being just totally pent up, and it is exhausting.
Number 10. It's not what you think.
Everybody pisses themselves the first time. Really? Yeah. Did you?
That scene is actually way more complicated than one would expect. They had to rig a tube into Dave Franco's pants, while a guy off-screen pumped liquid through it. That's not even the most awkward part of this whole thing.
You needed to be in a place that's believable, where it would be coming out of me.
It took a handful of takes to get right.
That's funny.
Number 11. The super sunny setting that's actually pretty abnormal for a vampire film. J.J. Perry moved to the Valley in 1990 after he got out of the army.
I wanted to capture the same feeling I had when I lived there, so it was that early 90s kind of rap music.
He utilized Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg when it came to pick out the music that perfectly captured the 90s vibe he was going for.
Because they're infinitely better at music and acting than I am.
Number 12. Something almost satiric about the vampires in this movie is their difference in origin. Depending on what type of vampire it was, Jamie Foxx's character, Bud, would distinguish the value of their fangs. None of that genogram was actually in the script.
We created that. You know, the Eastern vampire, the Southern vampire, the Uber vampire.
Apparently, we have a lot more to look forward to.
If we get a chance to do another one, I have a lot of ideas. And I don't want to give it up now.
Number 13. Big John is a force to be reckoned with. He's a top-tier vampire hunter, so of course, he's gotta have a top-tier weapon.
I was like, imagine Snoop with a gun like that called Big Bertha? Come on, who doesn't want to watch that?
Apparently, it was also insanely heavy.
Hey, cuz. Hey, this thing weigh like a ton, cuz.
Number 14. Something that might seem shocking about a movie this massive was that it was shot during a global pandemic in just 42 days.
There was no room for mistakes, so I prepared and prepared and prepared.
There's no way this would have gotten done in such a short amount of time without J.J. Perry behind it. His production designer was completely in sync with his action team, who he's been on the road with for over 8 years.
Go all over the world doing these movies. We can communicate with looks. We don't even talk, we just go...
Number 15. It seems like this movie really popped off the screen. Mainly because of how much chemistry flowed naturally between the cast. Jamie Foxx and Dave Franco loved working together, not only because they got to improv throughout the film's entirety,
where I was like, oh, we're flying now.
Oh, yeah, because we were ad-libbing all of it.
but because they really encouraged each other to be at their best and most natural.
You don't even have to tell me. Just do your thing. I'll follow you.
Another thing to note is that Jamie Foxx has always wanted to work with Dave Franco. He said he didn't want to do the movie unless he was cast.
I've always tracked Dave. I've always been trying to find him and a way to work with him.
Day Shift has makeup artists trying to make 6 people look exactly the same, actual contortionists, RPV drones being thrown out of a sunroof during a car chase, and a hilarious cast to tie it all together. What more could you ask for? What was your favorite moment to watch?